It was a heist so perfect it seemed impossible. In February 2003, a group of thieves pulled off the greatest diamond heist in history, breaking into the Antwerp Diamond Center's impenetrable vault and vanishing with over $100 million in precious gems. How did they bypass 10 layers of high-tech security? Who were these mysterious men? And what happened to the diamonds they stole? Join us as we delve into the daring and brilliant heist that left the world stunned and the diamonds missing. Discover the secrets, the suspects, and the shocking twists that still baffle investigators to this day. This is the story of the Antwerp Diamond Heist. Was it the perfect crime, or just the beginning of something much bigger? On a cold February morning in 2003, the city of Antwerp, Belgium, stirred awake, unaware that it was about to be the stage for one of the most audacious heists in history. The Antwerp Diamond Center, located in the heart of the city's diamond district, was a fortress of security, housing billions of dollars worth of diamonds, jewels, and other precious stones. Its vault, situated 2 floors underground, was protected by 10 layers of state-of-the-art security. Infrared heat detectors, a seismic sensor, a Doppler radar, a magnetic field, and a lock with 100 million possible combinations. It was believed to be impenetrable, but that belief was about to be shattered. For Leonardo Notarbartolo, a seasoned Italian thief, the heist began with a simple idea. What if he could break into the unbreakable vault? Notarbartolo wasn't a stranger to the diamond district. He had spent years posing as a diamond merchant, renting an office space in the Diamond Center. He dressed impeccably, built relationships, and earned the trust of everyone around him. No one suspected that the charismatic merchant was, in fact, a mastermind laying the groundwork for a crime that would become legendary. Notarbartolo wasn't working alone. He was part of a gang known as the School of Turin, a group of highly skilled Italian thieves, each with a particular expertise. There was the genius, an electronics expert, the monster, a muscular locksmith, the king of keys, a master locksmith, and Speedy, a driver with nerves of steel. Together, they had planned every detail of the heist for years, and their target was the vault in the Antwerp Diamond Center. The night before the heist, the men gathered in a small apartment just a few blocks from the Diamond Center. They reviewed their plan one final time, each man knowing his role to perfection. As the clock struck midnight, they donned their disguises, gathered their tools, and set out into the cold, silent streets. Their plan began with a crucial move, disabling the infrared sensors. The genius had developed a spray that could temporarily block the sensors without triggering an alarm. Under the cover of darkness, they sprayed the sensors through a small ventilation grate, effectively blinding the system. Next, they used a custom-built aluminum shield to cover the external light sensor, which would have detected any changes in lighting and triggered an alarm. With the first layer of security neutralized, the men continued to work swiftly. The monster used his brute strength to remove a steel grate, allowing them to access the garden behind the building. From there, they navigated their way through a small, forgotten passage, eventually reaching the stairwell that led down to the vault. It was here that the real challenge began. The vault door loomed before them, a thick steel barrier, seemingly insurmountable. But the King of Keys was ready. He had created a replica of the vault's key using a mold that Notarbartolo had made months earlier. With a steady hand, he inserted the replica key and turned it. To their relief, the lock clicked open. But that was only the beginning. Inside the vault, the gang faced a barrage of security measures. A magnetic field surrounded the door, and any interruption would trigger an alarm. But the genius had devised a clever solution, a thin strip of aluminum tape that could bypass the field. They carefully applied the tape, holding their breath as they passed through the door. No alarm sounded. The next obstacle was the combination lock-a-complex mechanism with over 100 million possible combinations. This was where the genius shined again. Using a tiny camera hidden in a pen, he had previously recorded the combination being entered by a security guard, frame by frame. With the combination in hand, they unlocked the door. Finally, the men were inside the vault. Rows of safe deposit boxes lined the walls, each one filled with diamonds, gold, and other precious stones. They moved quickly, opening the boxes with tools they had specially designed for the task. They took only the highest value stones, leaving behind anything that might slow them down. By dawn, they had filled their bags with loot valued at over $100 million. They retraced their steps, careful to leave no trace of their entry. They even swept the floors and wiped down surfaces to remove any evidence of their presence. Within minutes, they were gone, disappearing into the morning fog like shadows. It wasn't until Monday morning that the heist was discovered. When the staff arrived, they were greeted by the sight of an open vault door and rows of empty safe deposit boxes. Panic spread through the Diamond Center like wildfire. The police were called and an investigation began immediately. But the thieves had left nothing behind. No fingerprints, no DNA, no obvious clues. The Antwerp police were baffled. They combed through security footage, but the cameras had been disabled at the time of the heist. They interviewed dozens of people but found no leads. The vault's high-tech security had been breached, and no one could explain how. But then, in a twist of fate, a stroke of luck turned the case around. On a deserted road just outside Antwerp, a farmer discovered a pile of trash-discarded envelopes, jewelry boxes, and documents from the heist. Among the debris was a half-eaten sandwich and a receipt for a surveillance system rental in Notarbartolo's name. It was the breakthrough the police needed. Notarbartolo was arrested, and he confessed to orchestrating the heist, but insisted he was merely a pawn in a much larger game. He claimed that a mysterious diamond dealer, whom he called the Italian, had masterminded the entire operation, and that the diamonds had been pre-sold to buyers before the heist even took place. According to Notarbartolo, the plan was to steal certain diamonds to manipulate the market, and that he had been set up to take the fall. Despite Notarbartolo's arrest, the rest of the gang remained at large, and the diamonds were never recovered. Notarbartolo was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but continued to insist on his innocence, claiming that he had only played a small part in a much larger conspiracy. He suggested that corrupt officials, double-crossing dealers, and international diamond cartels were involved, but his claims were never substantiated. To this day, the Antwerp Diamond Heist remains an enigma. Was Notarbartolo telling the truth about the Italian, or was he trying to save himself from a longer sentence? What happened to the rest of the gang, and where are the diamonds now? Were they hidden away, sold to the highest bidder, or destroyed to cover up the crime? The unanswered questions hang in the air like diamonds in the dark, a reminder that even the most carefully planned heist can leave behind a trail of mysteries that refuse to be solved. And so the heist stands, a perfect crime, or just the beginning of a deeper, darker story. And so the mystery of the Antwerp Diamond Heist remains unsolved. Millions of dollars in diamonds vanished without a trace, and the true masterminds may still be out there, somewhere. Was Leonardo Notarbartolo just a pawn in a larger conspiracy? Or was he the genius behind the greatest diamond heist in history? And what became of the rest of the gang and the missing gems? What do you think? Could there be more to this story, hidden in the shadows of the diamond trade? Share your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more incredible heists, unsolved mysteries, and true crime stories. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction.